Hey y'all, it's your girl Jazz Tati, and I just wanted to share this video with you guys because it touched my spirit, honestly. It's a video on Marcus Rogers' page. I just want y'all to just watch it. It is so beautiful. It's, excuse me, a video of this man. I was crying, y'all. I'm really sensitive. I'm really like, I just love God and I love God's people, and I love when people can express how good God has been to them in whatever way that they decide to express that, whether it be song, poetry, whatever, writing. But that video really just brought me to tears because it reminded me of how good God is. It's nothing but God's grace, nothing but the grace of God that has kept me here, has kept you here. You know what I'm saying? When you could have been dead, you should have been gone a long time ago. The enemy tried to take you out a long time ago. And it's nothing but God's grace that you're still here today, that you can testify, that you can pray, that you can sing, that you can lift your voice up to him, that you can just, whatever you do to worship God, whether you dance for him, whether you write for him, anything, draw to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that video just reminded me, it was an old man. It's an old man, and he's giving his testimony. And it just took me back to how God has always kept his hand on my life. When I was a little girl, when I was being tormented by the hand of the enemy, I used to wake up with scratches all over my body. You know what I'm saying? I used to have nightmares all the time. Spiritual warfare was high. When I was a little girl, I used to see things. I used to be able to see spirits, you know what I'm saying? And nothing but God has kept me. Like, I'm talking, I used to see things, you know what I'm saying? To the point where my mom dropped me off at a birthday party before, and she came back like literally 10 minutes later with tears in her face talking about, God told me that you need to stay close to me. You know, at this birthday party, they're about to do basically some witchcraft. They're about to, do some demonic things. Like, God showed her that, and she had to come and get me. Like, she was prophesied to keep me close to her. You know what I'm saying? Because of what was on my life as a child. I was tormented as a child. I'm talking, I had nightmares after nightmare after nightmare. The enemy was messing with me so heavily. Like, from at 3 years old, you know what I'm saying? My mom telling me that a lady prophesied to her that the enemy was talking to me. You get what I'm saying? At 3 years old, by the age of 5 years old, I remember I used to write my death out in this black and white composition notebook. Like, I was tormented. I used to hate myself from the age of 5, from when I can remember. But at the age of 3, my mom had a prophecy that the enemy was speaking to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is not a game out here. This is a fight for your soul. This is a fight for your life. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not fighting, you're losing. This is a fight for your soul. Stop playing around. Like, I was tormented as a kid, so scared of the dark because I would see things in the dark. You know what I'm saying? I could hear things. Like, it's been so much things that have happened to me. So many things that have happened to me. And it was nothing but the grace of God that has kept me. That has kept me in my right mind. When I could have lost my mind. Nothing but God. When people talked about me like a dog, people teased me, people made fun of me so heavily. I used to get picked on because of my skin color. All my sisters are light-skinned. I used to get teased so bad that I would go to the bathroom and I would try to scrub my face to be lighter like them. You know what I'm saying? My dad did not think I was his child because I was dark-skinned. This stuff is deep for me. It was nothing but the grace of God that has kept me, that has had his hand on me. No matter what I did in my life wrong, no matter where I turned, there's nothing but God that kept me. It's nothing but God that healed me. It's nothing but God that restored me, that guided me, that told me, like, I love you. When I felt like nobody loved me, nobody cared about me, nobody wanted me around, everybody rejected me, it was God that said, I accept you. I love you for you. I created you different. I set you aside. You are mine. You are special to me. It doesn't matter what men say. It's nothing but God that keeps me. It's nothing but God that sustains me. When I was in the shelters, you know what I'm saying? When I was homeless with my kids. But God, he stepped in. He gave me my own apartment. I didn't have to pay a lick of rent for almost 2 years. A year and a half. I didn't have to pay a dime. Not no rent. Not no power bill. Not nothing. When I didn't have food, when I ran out of food stamps, when they canceled my card because I didn't renew in time, God had neighbors bring me food. You hear me? When my car broke down on the side of the road and we had to stay in a hotel for a few days, and a stranger came and tried to help us fix our car. We were 2 hours away from Atlanta. In Augusta. He said, I'm actually headed to Atlanta, me and my wife and our kids. Y'all, we got a big truck. Y'all can ride in the back with us. My car was unfixable. The starter went out completely. It would not start for nothing. And he drove us all the way back home. But God, you can't tell me that God is not faithful. I was living in the water. I was doing so much. I was smoking trees down, okay? I killed a lot of forest. But God, he stepped in. He helped me. He healed me. It was the grace of God that kept me. It was the grace of God that kept me from killing myself time and time and time again. When I've tried. I put plastic bags over my head, set the timer. I went to the car to get my gun. It was gone. I was going to blow my head off. God knows. When it was too heavy for me, when I couldn't take it no more. It was God that kept me. When I wanted to give up because it was too much for me. And I said, God, help me. You got to help me. You got to get me out of this. It was God. It was God. He wouldn't let the enemy take me out. When all these thoughts come in your mind and they make you feel like you are nothing, you are always something to God. You are always something to God. You are so special to him. You don't even know. You are so special. He sent his only begotten son, which was a piece of him, which was him, to die for us. We take that so lightly. Imagine losing your son. Imagine losing your baby. Someone perfect and precious to you. But you do it because you love us. You do it because you love us. He does it because he loves us. Just like Abraham. God tested him. He was like, I need you to go sacrifice Isaac. Abraham, he was like, whatever you say, God, that's what I'm going to do. Even if it hurt me, I'm going to do it. Because that's how much he trusted God. And when he got to the top of the hill where he was supposed to sacrifice him, Isaac was like, who's the sacrifice? You know, what's going on? You know, he started tying him up and all that type of stuff. He like, don't worry, God is going to provide a ram. God is going to provide it. Soon as Abraham, just to encourage his son, you know, he just was speaking it. You know, he like, I got to do this for God. It's the reason for everything. He tied up, put him on there, and boom, ram in a bush. An angel came. Don't do it. Don't do that. Your faith. You just knew I was going to make a way, and he did. He has always made a way. Just remember what God has brought you through. Remember how far you have come because of the grace of God. And man, it just touched me so heavily because a lot of times we get caught up in what we don't have, but just remember where God brought you from. You've come a mighty long way. And it's all because of God's grace. It's God's grace. So I hope y'all watch this video. I know people have their opinions of Marcus Rogers, but I believe he's a great man of God, and I'm not backing down from that at all. You know, just be encouraged. You know, remember how far you have gotten. It is nothing but the grace of God. When they could have killed you, but they didn't. When you could have killed yourself, God saved you from yourself. And he healed your mind. When you just felt so alone and like nobody cared about you and like the whole world was against you and like something's just wrong with you. When you just wake up and feel like something's wrong with you. Nobody wants to spend time with you. Nobody wants to get to know you for you. You know what I'm saying? When you just have all these feelings that are just stamping you down, punching you down, punching you down, punching you down. But then God steps in. He's like, you don't got to stay in this shelter no more. I've provided a place for you. You know what I'm saying? Childcare, paid for, free. Didn't have to pay nothing. Didn't have to apply for nothing. It's God. God has brought me from so much, y'all. And I don't feel sorry for crying because God knows, like, the torment that I went through, the bullying, and I'm such a sweet person. The bullying, the lies, the manipulation, the fake friends turning away, the betrayal, the hurt, the harm. Like, God knows it all. He sees it all. But he stepped in for me. And if he can step in for me, he can step in for you. I love y'all. Just be encouraged and hold on. It's going to turn around. The year's not over yet. It's going to turn around. You're going to be fine. He loves you. And just know that.